Hello everybody, this will be Unit 5 of the AP Government Note Review. To get right into it, we will be reviewing some of the amendments. To begin, I will be starting with amendments that have effect on voting, and I will be just speeding through them. The 15th Amendment allowed black men to vote. The 17th Amendment allowed for direct election of senators. The 19th Amendment allowed women to vote. The 23rd Amendment allowed residents of Washington, D.C. to vote. The 24th Amendment abolished poll taxes, and the 26th Amendment lowered the voting age to 18. Retrospective voting is a person who votes based on the previous track record of the politician in question. Prospective voting is voters based on the potential future promised by the politicians in question. Party line voting is voting based on the profound candidates of their party. 4 factors that impact voting behavior would be structural barriers, political efficiency, types of elections, and polling locations. Structural barriers that can impact a person's ability to vote would be voter ID, voter registration, and access to polling locations. Party identification can identify or can impact voter behavior as they influence voter behavior, since individuals who identify with ideology with a particular party are more likely to vote for candidates from that party, and their party affiliation often shapes their policy performances and voting decisions. The role and function of a political party as a linkage institution is driven by the ideological beliefs that candidates for elections influence the selection of candidates and drawing of legislative districts to favor their party's candidates. Party realignment can influence political parties as linkage institutions as they make changes in response to large groups of voters, shifting their support from one party to another. A third party is a party referring to the political organization or party that operates the two major parties and decks to challenge dominance. A winner-take-all voting district is a system in which individuals who serve the majority of popular value in a state is all the state's electorate. The role and function of an interest group as a linkage institution is an individual for specific policy provisions and represent the interest of particular issue or demographic among the influence policymakers and persuade them to pass a legislation, than always with groups. Interest groups use lobbying to achieve their goals as engaging in direct communication with lawmakers, processing expenditure on policy matters, drafting legislation, working to educate the public about them, and seeking to influence policymakers and shape legislation in their favor. An issue network is a temporary network that forms among different interest groups when a specific issue intersects them, allowing them to set aside differences and collaborate towards a common goal, even if they may have a conflicting problem. Interest groups are able to exert influence on political process, as interest groups are able to exert influence on political levels as groups with more financial restrictions have greater access to policymakers and can have more power. Primary elections are elections in which members of the party indicate which candidate they want to represent themselves. A closed primary would be voters must cast a ballot for a candidate which aligns with the voters' declared party. An open primary is voters can vote for a candidate representing any party regardless of the past part reflected of their voter registration. The incumbency advantage is an advantage that may have due to family background, access to financial or platform. The Electoral College is a system where each state appoints a member of electors corresponding to its representatives in Congress who are responsible for electing the press and opposed to the particular rate directing determining the outcome of a press election. A faithless elector is deviating from the expected behavior of voting in line with people's choice. The Electoral College operates as a winner-take-all system where the candidates who win the plurality of the popular votes in the state, whatever. A PAC is an organization that raises funds with the amount of influencing voters to support reformed candidates in elections, making them a significant player in campaign, A super PAC is an independent political action committee that can accept unlimited donations from anyone, but is prohibited from coordinating directly with the candidate, leading to concerns about influence of wealth on democracy. The role of the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, plays in campaign finance is they are responsible for enforcing and regulating campaign finance laws, including limits on individual and PAC donations to the political candidates, not conditions. The difference between hard money and soft money is soft money is funds donated to a party or interest group that can be used for purposes indirectly of supporting a candidate, and hard money directly donated to a candidate's campaign subject to legal limits. The Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act has an impact on campaign finance as there are increased funds on hard money donations as accompanying while attempting to restrict the influence of soft money by placing regulations. The role and function of media as a linkage institution is that people are reporting things going on with the government. Horse race journalism is the competition between political candidates Okay, that's it for Unit 5. Come back for stuff on the foundational document.